Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is a collaboration with Odessa Mall. So I want to shout out Odessa for reaching out to me to do this collaboration because I took a little bit of a time out from doing collabs just so I could really focus on my channel. And I was super excited to get back into it, especially to collaborate with Odessa because I love her energy. I love the energy she puts into her readings. She's such a sunny, bright person and I'm just really excited to collaborate. So shout out to Odessa and thank you for doing this collab with me. So what we're doing today is we are on my side of the collab. We are taking a look at how you impress your spirit guides, and over on Odessa's channel she's going to be taking a look at what your first impressions are to people. So what people's first impressions are on you. So yeah, I'm really excited to get in. I will have the link to Odessa's channel in the description box as well as the video. And yeah, let's get in and pick your piles. So pile number 1, we have the red jasper. Pile number 2, we have the clear quartz. Pile 3, we have the celestite. In pile 4, we have the green aventurine heart. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how you impress your spirit guides. So you guys chose the red jasper. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 1, please spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. I'm being shown you guys have a very healing nature because when I get taken to your aura, it's almost like a milky whitey blue, if that makes sense. It's like my celestite crystal here. It's very like whitey blue, very healing and very soothing. That's the energy I'm being placed into. Pile number 1, how do my pile number 1s, oh goodness, how do my pile number 1s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile number 1s impress their spirit guides? We have the 4 of Pentacles. How do my pile number 1s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile number 1s impress? What have we got? We have the Lovers. Pile number 1, how do my pile number 1s impress their spirit guides? I'm hearing this song from Hannah Montana and she basically sings you always find your way back home. I don't know the name of the song. It could literally just be called Home. But that's the song that I'm hearing. What I take from that though is like you always stay connected to your inner light. You always find your way back to your inner light, right back to your heart space no matter what you go through. That's what I'm taking that as. Let me get the other cards down. Pile number 1, how do my pile number 1s impress their spirit guides, ancestors, spirit team? 7 of Cups. How do my pile, where did the card go? The Hierophant. Okay, let me, the back of the deck is a 9 of Pentacles. Okay, let me make sure it focuses because sometimes it goes out of focus and I don't realize until I watch back and I'm like, oops. Okay, the first thing that I want to say that your spirit guides are referencing is how well you are able to and have been able to tap back into your Akashic records and connect to gifts you would have developed in other lifetimes. Now, when we develop psychic gifts in other lifetimes, they're naturally going to be available to us when we incarnate, but that doesn't mean that we're not still going to have to remove certain layers, clear certain, ego constructs, or clear certain filters that we've created in this life that are keeping those gifts a little bit rusty, if that makes sense. And I keep being shown, like, from you guys at a young age, it's like you might have even set out when you incarnated to find your way back to opening up to spirit. So you may have incarnated and, like, you never expected to be, super connected to spirit, channeling spirit, picking up things like that. Maybe it was something that was supposed to break at a particular point, or maybe you did some clearing and did some work. But it's like, even when you set up to do that, you still remembered who you were at your core. It's like you were still accessing, because I'm being shown it, like, laying in bed at night, and, like, you're not meant to know something yet, but you download something and it gives you, it like seeds some sort of awakening, or it seeds something, and it's like you weren't meant to know that yet. You weren't even, or at least you didn't set up to find that out until much later. Like, that breadcrumb, you weren't meant to find that yet. That was like a couple of cycles later. But it's like, naturally, it's just force of habit that's so strong within you. I feel like your gifts, you're very, very connected to. Naturally, it just started opening, because I almost feel like you may have had, like, an awakening before you expected to, or you may have been open to certain things before you were not necessarily supposed to, because it's all energy, but it's just like things happening prematurely. It's like, oh God, that wasn't meant to happen yet. That wasn't meant to happen yet, because it's like you're intuitively picking up on this is the thing, like, this is why they're getting impressed, because I'm even being shown, like, say now you had, like, a specific very strong karmic partner, or you had a very specific strong soulmate sort of connection, or you were meant to be friends with a certain person at a particular time in your life. It's almost like Akashic record wise, you were ready for it before your energies even aligned with it, because you already knew that person was coming in. So you could, like, meet someone and you're not meant to have a relationship with them maybe for, like, 2 or 3 years, which is when you energetically align with that cycle. But, like, you bump into them and it's like you keep thinking of them, or you're already aware that something's gonna happen there, and your spirit guides are like, oh my God, like, they're literally taking it all into their own hands. How are they, like, they're not meant to know this. They're meant to be, quite clueless and just waiting for that to happen on its own. But, like, this person's in their periphery, that this person's in their brain, they're thinking about this person, they know something's going to happen even though their brain hasn't clocked on yet. This isn't supposed to happen like that. So that's something that's coming through that impresses your guides, as well as, like, say now, because I feel like you guys are quite connected to spirit, say now you were meant to find astrology at a specific point, because it was going to feed information to you about your own purpose, but it was meant to come at a time period when you'd woken up to something. But you find astrology prematurely, like, you find it years earlier and start waking up to that before that anything aligned with that. And it's like you almost, like, rapidly push things forward sometimes because of how aligned you are. And that's what spirit wanted me to start off with. It's like you energetically, it's like wise beyond your years from the beginning, because I feel like even as a child, it's like understanding concepts you weren't meant to get until you were a little bit older, but it's like you got it when you were younger, because you're just laying in bed, you're just downloading it. Like, you're just getting messages from spirit. Even if you didn't call it that when you were young, it's like you're understanding concepts and things like that. That's something that's coming through. It's just inevitable with your energy. I just think that you are very good at channeling and bringing messages through from spirit. That's just something I strongly picked up on here with the Hierophant card. And that rapidly came through. So I also feel like you guys may channel very well, and just bring messages down very well. The way it flows, I think maybe you don't give yourself credit for as well. Or I'm being shown, like, psychic abilities, so, like, premonitions, like dream premonitions, or just sitting there and having visions. There's a specific psychic gift that you guys are excellent at. Like, the way you bring it through, it's like effortless. And spirit's like, you do realize it takes a lot of incarnations and a lot of clearing to be able to do that purely, like being able to bring premonitions through without adding your own projection onto it. Like, do you know how much you have to clear? Do you know how much you have to clear within your third eye to bring images through clairvoyantly that strong. Do you know how much you have to clear? Like that they're referencing how easily you do something. There's something psychically that you do extremely well that you're just like, oh, everyone can do this, but you're very, very good at it. And they keep referencing it, and it's the humbleness where it's like, that's just me. And your spirit guide's like, no, that's really impressive. You have no idea how you can, you know what I mean, how you can do that in the frequency that you're at, in the human being frequency, bringing that through. You may also be, because I said you have a healing nature, you may also be Reiki healers, you may also be, you know, shamanic healers. There's something about energy flowing through you. Again, that comes quite natural. I keep being taken to the hands, and my hands are getting very warm, so it could be Reiki healing. And I'm being shown that you're able to bring a multitude of energy through, or even take on a multitude of energy from other people. And that's another thing that's coming through is impressive, because it's like you're holding your own frequency whilst taking on another's. I feel like you can also do it at a grand level too, you know what I mean? So I don't know if you like go to, like, in the UK we have like spiritualist churches where people go with like psychic gifts. I almost feel like, you know, when you see psychics and they have a crowd full of people and they're able to just bring different messages to different people, you might be able to do that. Or just there's like a mass healing energy, or you may work with the land that you walk on or nature and provide healing there. There's something about that coming through as well, whatever that means to you. I just keep being shown like a mass healing of like nature around you. So some of you guys may have that gift, or just do it naturally. I'm being shown somebody in their garden. It's almost like I'm setting up a grid in my garden energetically and clearing space. So whatever that's about, that's what I'm being shown as well. So there's like an impressive quality that you have, the way you're able to like dwindle through the realms, hold a human frequency but bring another frequency in, or hold on to an inner frequency within you and mix them together and not get lost in the sauce. I think you do it really well, but I think you don't, I keep being told you don't give yourself enough credit for it because of how naturally it comes to you. You just think it's normal, and it's like it may be normal for you, but like you've really developed that. That's big. Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, the Lovers, Seven of Cups. Why do we have the Four of Pentacles with the Lovers and the Seven of Cups? Another thing, because it all ties in with the energy thing, but another thing that I feel impresses your spirit guides is the fact that no matter what connections you've had, friendship wise, relationship wise, I see you walking around still with a lot of love, forgiveness, and just a whole heart in your energy field towards them. I hope this makes sense. I have a bit of brain fog today, so I hope I'm channeling right and fluidly for you guys, because my brain's a bit today because of my hormones. But what I was trying to say was, like, you could have had a connection with somebody and they could have like really hurt you, but it's like you don't take their pain and their anger on and let it turn you dark. It's like you're staying in your own frequency. You may purge feelings, you may purge anger and clear all of that, but it's like you don't let other people's actions taint you, even if they haven't been very nice. You stayed in your frequency, and there's like a frequency of love. And that's another thing that your spirit guides are very impressed with, because some people can go the revenge route, some people can, you know, go steep down to that level and stay there, and it's like even if you've gone down to that level, you've popped back up. That's why I was hearing that song, you always find your way back home. You come back to that frequency of love, even if sometimes your ego might lead you astray to think certain things or feel certain things, or even when you are just healing, so you have to stay in a certain frequency, you always pop back up to that frequency. And that's another thing that spirit's like very impressive, you know what I mean? You don't let people taint you. You'll allow them to teach you and teach you wisdom, but you won't hold on to traits you might have learned or shadow traits you may have learned for too long. It's like you're always clearing that to come back to a certain frequency, because it's your natural nature, and that's very impressive, you know, because some people will just stay put or align. It's like if someone gets hurt, they may stay emotionally unavailable for the rest of their lives and just completely border themselves up. People do that. To you, that's not even an option, which is impressive, because it's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm clearing. There's no way. I don't care how long it takes. There is no way. So that's another thing coming through. Why do we have the Lovers, Seven of Cups, the Lovers? I feel like as well, you I keep being shown someone, and it's like, even if, how do I put this into words? Like, I'm having a feeling come through where like somebody's making me very angry, or somebody's like frustrating me, and it's almost like my shadow self wants to be petty or snap at someone, and it's almost like your inner guru comes out, and it's almost like you're observing a feeling, observing an emotion, and it's like, I'm not going to project this onto the person. I'm feeling this feeling, and it's like, I'm letting the emotion pass, and then I'll put like a boundary in, or then I'll say my piece, but I don't want to project anger or project frustration onto this person. Like, and I'm being told it wasn't always this way. So there's a development over emotional maturity, which might have been a little bit harder for you, because I feel like you guys are quite sensitive, and you lead with your emotions. There's a development that you've been working through over the past couple of years in emotional maturity, and allowing yourself to like feel emotions and then just let them pass. That's, again, something that's very big, and they're referencing that, and talking about that being impressive, whatever that is. So it's like, when you connect with other people, somebody could maybe people have done this to you in the past, where people have tried to get some of your energy or nab at your energy by trying to like hurt you or poke at you or get you to be angry. And I feel like it used to work in the past, where you just give your energy away, but you've developed it now to a point where someone can project something onto you or say something about you, and it's just like, I'll feel an emotion, but I'm just letting it pass. I'm not going to give you that energy. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to alchemize out of that energy, or just allow that feeling to pass, wait for the emotion to flow through, and then I'll say my piece. Or if I don't really need to say anything, I can just step away. Like, there's something about that, like not reacting out of just pure emotion. And when I say emotion, like shadow emotion, there's something you've developed there, an emotional maturity, which is another impressive trait. I'm also being told as well, with the 7 of Cups, I feel like in this lifetime as well, you may have, because you look at things from your own inner light, I feel like you've seen the light in people, and I feel like because of that, maybe you've projected people's you've seen the good in people even when they've chosen to do bad. And a lot of the time, sometimes when that happens and we see the light in people, and then people just keep showing us the bad, and we can draw in like broken birds or whatever, when we see enough dark, we can then decide to look at the world in a very dark way and be like, F everyone, I don't trust anyone, everyone's awful. And maybe you've gone through a period of that, but again, I'm being told a song, you always find your way back home. It's like, you've developed and mastered, and I'm being told you've mastered it, being able to see somebody's higher attributes, their higher self, their lighter attributes, as well as their shadow attributes, and seeing both. Whereas before, you might have just projected the light. Maybe then you went through a period where you only saw the dark in people because people had shown you that for so long. Whereas now you've mastered both, and you take things at face value. So there's almost like an illusion that you've cracked. And being shown Sarah from the labyrinth, when she smashes the mirror, from that like illusion that she wakes up from, and she smashes that mirror or that timepiece or clock, whatever it was, and she wakes back up in her reality. So it's like, you've smashed something, you've woken up to something, you've like smashed like rose-colored glasses to see stuff what they are, but still kept that light, you know what I mean, to see people's potential. So you balance that out. You're someone that really works on yourself, which really impresses spirit. And I also feel with the red jasper and it being a grounding crystal, I think maybe part of your mission is to anchor in a frequency, but you needed to understand the third dimension and the shadow traits to be able to anchor in that frequency to protect yourself. That's what I'm being shown. So you may have gone through a shadow period where you met a lot of karmic relationships and friendships, and there was a lot of karmic patterns happening for you to see the darker side of things, to become more aware and susceptible to people's shadow traits, so that you weren't in a vulnerable position. And I feel like you've mastered it very well now, where it's like you've woken up to your light, you've woken up to your dark for you to become whole. That inner journey in itself is impressive, that you've come back, no marks on you, just wisdom gained, and it's like boom, right, I'm back. So that's something that's super impressive to your spirit guides as well. And I think what can be accredited to that is why we have the Hierophant at the back, which is why they taught me to lead from there and then go here. What that's accredited to is your connection to the divine and spirit, and how strong it is, and how it's like I have my integrity here. I'm following my heart. I'm following my heart, and I know my frequency, and I know what I'm here to do. It's like you've held on to that no matter what, which is very impressive, I'm being told. Pile number one, pile number one, what is it about my pile number ones that impresses their spirit guides? How do my pile number ones impress their spirit guides? We have the universe. Pile number one. You just tap into like people's Akashic records naturally. I feel like you just tap into people naturally. Like you'll meet someone and you're like, I've had a past life with you. I know I have. Or you're gonna play a big role in my life. I already know it. Like you already know that. It's really interesting. It's like you're gonna be a karmic partner, and you're already feeling these wounds come out before they've even been triggered, because you know what's to come, and it's like, oh, you're gonna be that. You know what I mean? Because I see a situation with like someone that you would have maybe had a short-term relationship with, but it would have triggered really deep wounds within you, and it's like you already knew it was going to happen. So I see you already not trusting this person before physically they've given you a reason to not trust them. And it's like you're already feeling emotions that haven't even been triggered in the physical yet, because you know it's to come. It's like you're aware that it's about to come. So it's almost like resisting getting into this connection because you already know what's happening. It's quite interesting. It's like I'm holding someone at bay, but I'm meant to be having a connection with them, but I'm keeping them at bay, but I'm keeping them close enough, or that they're coming into my frequency enough to trigger wounds. In its highest aspect, I'm supposed to have a relationship with them, but I already know that this is going to be karmic, so I'm holding them at bay so it doesn't really turn into a full relationship, but they're still around, which is triggering me. I hope this is making sense. It's like, had you not been connected to spirit, that would have been a karmic relationship where you would have had wounds triggered and then it would have ended. But because psychically you kind of knew what was coming, it never fully solidified into a relationship. It might have even been a situationship or something like that. They got close, but not too close, but it was enough to trigger certain wounds. I hope that makes sense. There's a situation like that would have happened at one point. I feel like that situation's passed for a lot of you now, but I feel like something like that may have happened. Pile number, we have power reversed. Pile number one. What is it about my pile number? I also feel like you're clearing of ancestral wounds and ancestral baggage and healing. I feel like that is also impressive. It's like you've really... You're the type of person on a soul level that's like no stone unturned. If I see something in my frequency, I'm not just going to leave it. I'm going to clear it. If I see something that needs to be shifted or changed, I'm going to do it because I can. There's like a headstrong feeling that you have. There's this headstrong energy that you possess that Spirit's quite impressed with, because it's like, oh, they're really going for it. The song they're referencing for you guys is Eye of the Tiger. That's the song I'm hearing. I'm hearing the beat at the beginning. Like, that's the song I'm hearing, Eye of the Tiger. That's how they reference you when you incarnate and when you get going. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Pile number one. Dare to breathe. Dare to dream, even. I don't know why I said dare to breathe. Dare to breathe. Dare to dream. And then one more card from this deck. Pile number one. How do my pile number ones impress their spirit guides? You have versatility at the back of the deck. What do we have? Reclaim. I think with the power card being reversed and then reclaim here, it's like reclaiming your power with it being reversed here, and it looks like a wand, and then you have the two wands here. It's like whatever I incarnated with a lack of, I'm going to get back 10 times more. I'm going to incarnate maybe into poverty. I'm going to make more money than even generations before me had. I'm going to incarnate and deal with loss, or I'm going to take on ancestral grief and it's going to happen to me. I'm going to bring love back into the situation tenfold. It's like I'm going to bring it back tenfold because I can. It's like reclaiming my power, reclaiming that. You said I can't have this, watch me get it back 10 times better. Oh, I'm going to lose myself and I know that that's going to happen in this incarnation. Watch me bounce back 10 times harder. Like, you just have that drive on a soul level, which bleeds into your human energy, where it's like, I'm going to, it's like, this is the Eye of the Tiger song. It's like, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep bouncing back. I keep hearing, try me. Like, it's a really bold energy that I'm picking up from your soul's energy, and that's an impressive energy from your spirit guides, because it's like you just keep getting back up and going, which is really, really interesting. What do we have? Dare to dream. What do we have? Dare to dream. I keep hearing like, I'm going to take this further. That's what I'm getting with that. I'm going to take this further. And with the universe card as well, it's almost like tapping into the divine, tapping into spirit. It's like it's like I'm becoming aware that everything is a frequency, everything is energy, and I can manifest and align things into this reality. I'm going to take control. I'm not just going to take things lying down. I'm not just going to settle for this. It's like, you don't settle, you just keep going. You just keep, it's just like, I keep hearing more, like more abundance, more love. I'm going to keep shining it out. It's not going to, like, my light's not going to dim. I'm going to keep shining it brighter. Like, I keep hearing that, and it's like, every time you bounce down, it's like you come back tenfold. Every time you've had a rock bottom, you've bounced back extra hard. And that's something that super impresses your spirit guides, because there's something ancestral that you've cleared. And it's like, oh, you haven't experienced this in a while in this ancestral line. Oh, you haven't experienced this. Watch me bring it back tenfold. My kids are going to have that and not even know what it's like to not have that. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Pile number 1. Messages. Why do I keep saying messages? Do you guys want a message from spirit? Is that it? Should I bring a message? Are we done here, or do I need to bring any more? I'm going to bring a message from spirit through, because I keep going to say messages from spirit. I'm not taking that lightly. I feel like maybe spirit have a message for you, or maybe you've been wanting a message. So I'm going to use these cards to bring a message through. Yeah, that's what I'm being shown. Messages from pile number 1 spirit guides, please. Messages from pile number 1 spirit guides. What messages do pile 1 spirit guides have for them right now? We have time to let go, the groundhog spirit. Time to let go, pile number 1. Messages from pile number 1 spirit guides, please. Messages from pile number 1 spirit guides. Let me grab. We have the ego spirit. Spirit has your back. I keep hearing divine assistance. Divine assistance. Pile number 1. Messages from pile number 1 spirit guides. And we also have time to collaborate, the ant spirit. Back of the deck we have you are never alone. That's really interesting that you have you are never alone at the back of the deck, because with time to let go, we're talking about releasing something which creates grief. And when we let go of people in this incarnation, we deal with loneliness. That's a human feeling. We deal with that feeling of loneliness, and we are separate from something. But then we have spirit has your back, and then it falls into time to collaborate. To collaborate is to bring somebody in, a new connection. So I may even, what I'm picking up from this energy is that spirit bringing through something's been released, and it doesn't have to be a person that you've let go of. It could be a grievance of something within your own energetic frequency, maybe grieving a parent, maybe grieving, aspects of your childhood, grieving a feeling of, love. Like, a lot of the times we don't experience love in the best way in our childhood, and we have to give space to grieve that. That's why I'm being taken, that we might not have had a love that we might have deserved in our childhood. But it's like, once we release and we grieve that, we create space for love to then fill that void. And with spirit has your back, when I'm thinking of the ego spirit, and they kind of like pick things up to carry it somewhere else with their little feet, claw things. And you are never alone at the back of the deck. It's almost like there's energy being returned to you that is being referenced. And I think that's what spirit wanted to bring through. If you've been clear in something, releasing something, the energy is being returned to you. Do not think that energy is lost. So maybe you've been purging recently, or clearing recently, or maybe you've just done ton of it in your lifetime, nothing released is lost. It's going to be returned. You know, there's never a gap in energy. When there's space, energy comes in to fill that space. Energy comes in to fill that void. It's like when we go through an ego death, we cleanse a lot of our ego constructs and our shadow self. We're in the void for a sec, but then we create a new beginning. We create, you know, our ego creates a new perspective of life, and light flows back into our life and fills that void once we've been in that void stage. So, or it could just be that Spirit saying you've cleared a lot, and what you've cleared is going to come back tenfold. So that's a message for whoever needs it there. Yeah, so pile number 1, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. I have the link to Odessa's channel in my description box. You can head over and watch part 2 of the collaboration. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how you impress your spirit guides. So you guys chose the clear quartz. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. The minute I tap into your energy, I'm being shown sunflowers and I'm being shown lots of fire. So I don't know if you guys are born in the summer. You guys may have a lot of fire energy in your chart, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. It could also be that Spirit's just referencing you as a very sunny, vibrant person, and just the outlook that you have on life, or maybe the effect that you have on people, is very bright and very light, and that's something that Spirit's referencing. They showed me this not long ago. I can't remember what pick a card it was in now, but it's the Teletubbies, and if you've never watched the Teletubbies, they're like 4, I have no idea what animals or puppets they are. They're like little bear things. Anyway, there's a sun that goes up in the air, and there's a baby face in the sun, and they're referencing you being that. That's come up in another reading. I may have even referenced it to you in another reading. They may even reference just you like that. But they're just saying you're very sunny, you're very vibrant and very bright. There's a lot of love here as well. I feel like your spirit team is made up of a lot of ancestors or souls that have passed on. So like family members that you know that have passed on are very much around you, because it's like souls that knew you in the physical are aware of a vibration you're bringing to the ancestral line. So that's something that's coming through. It's very bright, vibrant, and very light. Very, very beautiful energy, and lots of love I'm feeling around you. Like a lot of heart chakra, you know, love energy. I just feel love, you know. Pile number 2. How do my pile number 2s impress my their spirit guides? How do pile number 2s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile... Oh my god. The sun just popped out. The sun just smacked my thumb and popped out. Guys, I can't make this up. Oh my god. The sun... This is what I mean. Like, there's just a vibrancy that I'm tapping into. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. How do my pile number 2s impress their spirit guides and spirit team? 4 of Cups. Page of Wands. Pile number 2. 3 of Swords. And then the back of the deck you have the 10 of Swords. Your sheer optimism is something that impresses your spirit guides, in the way it's like, not just like, oh yeah, I'm picking myself up after I've gone through something. It's more than that. It's just the way you look at life. Like, I feel like you're someone that can always see the silver lining, and I feel like you're the type of person that can make the best of a bad situation. And I feel like you don't need a whole lot to be happy, which is something that impresses your spirit guides. But on top of that, it's like, there's a drive in you that a lot of people can lack, because a lot of people, it's like they'll say, I can't start this business, or I can't start this, you know, creative pursuit because I haven't got this, and that. And a lot of people, they may start something, and if it starts very slow, they can get discouraged. You know, you could like start YouTube and not get a lot of views and get discouraged. You could start TikTok and not get a lot of views and get discouraged. You could start painting and not a lot of people are buying the paint, or start making music and not a lot of people are watching, you know, listening to the music, and you can get discouraged. But there's something about you where it's like, even just one person seeing you or it's not even just a case of one person, it's just your ability to just create and channel your vibrancy and your light, and your visualizations are sounds that you channel and bring through into music, whatever it is. As long as you can create, it's like there's a happiness there, and it creates an energy of abundance, like, and no matter what it is. Like, I feel like you're not someone that needs a whole lot to be happy, because it's like, you are the sun. What's that song? And it's like, you are the sun, you are the rain. It's like an older song. I may even get the lyrics wrong. It's like, you are the sun, you are the rain. I don't know. But there's like this connection to the inner child where there's this level of optimism, and it's like, no matter what you go through, it's like a silver lining. It's like, oh, we can turn this into something else. We can turn this into something else. It's like, going into a home and it's all run down, but it's like, you see the higher perspective. You see what it could be. It's like for Mamma Mia, where Donna has this really run down old hotel, and the song comes on, I Have a Dream. So I feel like that's your song from Spirit, I Have a Dream. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can face the future, even if you fail, I believe in angels. That song is sung as she goes through this very worn down hotel, and she turns it into a very beautiful hotel. And it's like, she does something that may have looked impossible, but she turns it into something that is possible. So it's like, you have that energy to anything. You have that optimism and that childlike wonder to everything, and that's something that Spirit is very impressed by, because it's also very what's the word, not affectionate, what's the word, infectious. I don't know why that word went from my head. It's very infectious, because when you think of like the sun, and it activates all the flowers to bloom, you know what I mean? When you're feeling low and then summer comes around and the sun comes out, everyone's in better spirits. Everyone's in their gardens. Everyone's planting flowers. Everyone's going for walks. Everybody's, in the UK, people go to like beer gardens, and they all sit and drink beer in beer gardens, and people are in parks, and people are in pools, and it's like the pools come out. It's like a brighter feel, because it's infectious. The sun comes out, you feel good. It activates humans as much as it activates nature, because we are part of nature. And I just feel like you have that light that you just give out, and I don't think you realize how much you just activate people. And I think that's something that Spirit feel impressed with you about, because it's like your influence or your activation goes a long way. Yeah, it's like someone gets inspired by something you say, like you just said, you just poured into them, and they get inspired by it, and then they go on to inspire other people. It's like you're the candle. And it's like with candles, you light one candle and then you can light 100 other candles. Like from that one candle, that one flame, it can light 100 other candles. It's infectious. So I feel like you have that energy, and I think sometimes you don't realize, just you giving a compliment to someone, are you helping somebody out? Are you just being a good friend to someone? Are you being loyal to someone? Are you just getting somebody up to dance, or, bringing, whether it's just like putting music out or art out, or making your own clothing or jewelry, wherever you're channeling your art into or your creativity into, it inspires people. It activates that light. You are literally that flame, that candle that just keeps on giving. And I don't think you realize that sometimes. And that's something that Spirit's really impressed with. Even when you've had shortcomings, it's like you've made the best out of them, like you may have not had as much as what the person next to you had, but it's like you learnt from it and then created your own version of it, which is just really, really beautiful. It's like you're still able to see the optimism and the silver lining of anything, It's reminding me as well, if you've ever watched Friends, Ross and his wife Emily, they go to get married in this church in England, and the church actually gets bulldozed down. It actually gets kind of destroyed, so it's all ruin and it's all bricks. And Ross, because he doesn't want Emily to like be upset, he ends up like turning the ruined castle into like a really beautiful wedding venue. I'm sure there was like candles and beautiful chairs set up, so it still went ahead, and they still made the best of it. So that's what you're able to do. I feel like you're that type of person. You're able to help people see from a higher perspective, and I just feel like you seed light and you activate that kind of like optimism in people, which is really, really beautiful, which is something that impresses spirit, as well as just the way you're able to create on earth. Like I wrote a post about this on my community tab a while back, because I posted like my perfumes and things, and I was talking about how we need our ego, our healthy ego, so that we can create abundance, because the universe in itself created humans, the universe in itself created nature, the universe is a creator. And when we incarnate on earth, Mother Gaia is creating plants and nature and foods for us to eat. And we as human beings, when we create, we are tapping into source, because source created us in the first place. When we create, it's like we're birthing creations, we're birthing our emotions into something. When we're making a song, we're birthing we're expressing our soul's desires through interior design, through creating fragrances, through creating soaps, through designing things online in tech, and building buildings, and making clothes, and making music, and writing stories, and creating films. And they go on to inspire people. That's why we have things like Pinterest, so people can, you know, look at people's weddings or homes or interior design and get inspired by it. That's why we have blogs and vlogs, so people can get inspired by it. That's why we have YouTube channels and musics and songs and books and movies, because of creators. And I feel like the way you're able to create out of anything, it's like you could just see a stick in front of you and create something from it, which is so beautiful. And Spirit's referencing that. And not to feel ashamed of that as well, Spirit's referencing it. Maybe sometimes, especially if maybe you create your own clothes in a certain way, or you love to create through makeup, don't feel ashamed by your outlet of creativity, whatever that is, because it's your soul expressing parts of itself. So never feel shamed don't let people shame you for that, is what I'm being told here. But I just feel like, even with the Three of Swords being here, and you guys choosing the clear quartz as well, it's like you're able to again, it's like I'm alchemy. It's like I'm absorbing the negative and turning it into something. I'm turning it into wisdom. I'm feeling melancholy right now because I broke up with someone, but the way that I'm going to rebirth through this, the way that I'm going to release through this, is I need to give it an outlet. I'm feeling emotional over this, so I'm going to make a song about it. I'm going to write poetry about it. I'm going to make a piece of jewelry to kind of express it through jewelry. It's like you're constantly creating. I'm going to listen to music and create a music video in my head and let that be released out of that. It's like you're constantly creating because you're so connected to source. That's something that's just really inspires Spirit, the way that you do that, because I feel like you release through creation, which is really, really beautiful. And in that, it activates people to release through your creation or get inspired by your creation to activate and channel their own inner divine feminine, inner divine masculine, inner child, shadow self. Like, you encourage people to do that. Like, you're such a source of inspiration, and I feel like in that, even Spirit get inspired by you. You may even have souls that like may view and observe you and get inspired by you. That's another thing that I'm being shown, because I see a lot of love ancestral wise, and I see a lot of love with your spirit guides, but also souls that have like crossed over, and there's a lot of like it's inspiring me. Like, you're inspiring me. It's almost like making the way you're looking at life, it's making me want to. This is the thing, it's like you're an advocate to come back down to earth, because it's like, I want to go back down there and create like that too. I want to do that. I want to reincarnate into this family line and do it that way. I'm inspired by this. So it's like, that's another thing then that comes through, which is really, really beautiful. Let's pull your oracle cards. Pile number 2, please, Spirit guides. Pile number 2. How do my pile number 2s inspire? Not inspire. How do pile number 2s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile number 2s impress their spirit guides? Oh my god, hang on, these cards are like everywhere. I flipped cards over by accident. I mean, we literally have love that flipped over, so I'm actually going to put that down because it made me stop shuffling, so I'll pop that down. So we have love. And we connect to source through our heart chakra. We channel through our soul star chakra and our crown chakra, but we can connect to source through our heart chakra, because the universe is love. There's no greater energy than love. And I feel like that's you guys. I feel like you tap into that so well, which is how you're able to create. You create with love. You create through authentic expression. I also feel like you can't put a mask on you for the life of you to try and blend in, because it's like it makes you feel rigid and stuck. Maybe you've tried it, but there's this feeling of like, that just makes me miserable because that's not an authentic expression of myself. Like if I'm to do something because somebody else wants me to, or somebody's trying to make me insecure and telling me to do this, I feel rigid, I feel stuck, I feel like I'm going the wrong way, I feel like I'm swimming against the current. I have to stay in my authenticity, I have to stay in my own frequency, otherwise I'm just going to be rigid. I'm not going to feel inspired by life, and then I don't feel right going on with my soul mission because I'm here to inspire. So it's like I feel lost when I do that. There's a reference of that. There's like an authentic, that's why I'm picking up a warm energy from you and a feeling of home, because of how authentic you express yourself and how authentic you are with yourself. We have Get Curious. Pile number 2. How do my pile number 2s impress? What do we have here? We have the Sage. How do my pile number 2s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile number 2s impress their spirit guides? Let me just pop these. We have the Revolutionary. I love how there's fire on the wand here as well. Love that. The Seeker at the back of the deck. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, with the Seeker and Get Curious, it's like Alice in Wonderland and her curiosity leading her down the rabbit hole. And when you put Alice in Wonderland next to any other Disney movie, it's probably one of the most colourful, vibrant, wacky and creative movies they've created, if that makes sense. I got lost for words then, but the way the different characters, it's very out of this world. It's bright, it's colorful, and like Alice in herself, she's curious and she's making her way through the Wonderland. It's almost like the way you're able to, it's like my world would be a Wonderland if I lived. Yeah, that's what I'm being taken to. She like Alice lives in a world in her own, and she sings the song "My World Would Be a Wonderland," and I'm sure it's like a theory, or maybe it was like what Alice in Wonderland was about. Like Wonderland was in her mind, so it's like she created that. It's a creation of her mind. Because she sings about talking to the flowers, and when she goes down to Wonderland, the flowers do talk. So it's like she's creating a Wonderland in her mind. So it's like the way you move through life, it's like a Wonderland because you created like that. The way we look at life is how we are on the inside, and the way we look at life and how we respond to things is how we are on the inside. And I feel like you respond to them in a very curious way. It's like a thirst for knowledge, but knowledge can just be knowledge, black and white. You can, just study something and learn it, or you can make it your own and see something that other people might not see and create something more big and grand from it. And I feel like that's what you do with the Revolutionary. I feel like you're here to blaze your path and really walk a very authentic path, and that's something that inspires spirit. With the Seeker, Get Curious, it's like and then the Revolutionary, it's like I'm being shown somebody writing with a pencil, and it's like on fire because you're just creating, you know what I mean? And what's interesting is with the Sage, they have teeth hanging from their sticks, and then on the Seeker they have teeth in the hands. It's almost like I'm clearing karma, I'm clearing ancestral karma, and I'm creating my own Wonderland. This story is going to take a very different turn. I'm going to create my own Wonderland from this. I'm purging, or I'm clearing, or as well, you may even be reactivating. Oh, this is why your ancestors are coming through, and past over loved ones are coming through. There may have been times in your ancestors' lifetimes where they may have had to put the book down, turn the movie off, put the creativity down to, yeah, I'm gonna nod in, to focus on just the physical and maybe snuff that light out. And it's like you're reactivating that, but you're activating it. It's like you're activating gifts that have been dormant for a really long time. You're activating inspirations that have been dormant for a really long time, which is why you're super curious, because it's like, look at the seeds here on the Curious card. It's like the roots going all the way down, and the eagle here, so it's like flying high. And then with the Sage card and the Seeker with the teeth is ancestry, so it's like you're connecting to your roots, and it's like you're bringing the light back in. You're bringing color back into life that may have been snuffed out, and it's like you're activating that, which is why so many, it's like your ancestors are feeling that and stepping in and walking with you. Souls that have crossed over are watching that and with you and seeing that, which is really interesting. That's why they're referencing you like Alice in a world of my own, because I feel like that's what you're here to do, create. And the sun is ruled by Leo, and that rules the 5th house of creativity. So that's not shocking me at all. And it's all coming from your heart. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, it's coming from the heart, which again, it's like coming from source, but it's also coming from your ancestors. And it's like, you may even find that like you don't just have one career path, you have many things, or you just have a lot of side hobbies, or you're very tapped into your multi-dimensional aspects that you're able to bring through and blend in different things. Because it's like, I see the amount of things that have come through, from like fashion to movies to music and poetry and books and even building houses. Like there's so many things that have come through that I feel like you may blend a lot of, maybe even things that your ancestors wanted to do but never were able to do. They just dreamed about it. You're kind of blending it all in. It's really interesting. Pile number, because I'm being shown brats, and their slogan is passion for fashion. So I don't know what that's about, but I feel like there's a connection there. Pile number, we have surrender now, the moth spirit. Pile number 2, how do my pile number 2s I keep wanting to say inspire your spirit guides, so I feel like what impresses them is how much you inspire them, because I keep wanting to say that. What's my pile number 2s? I'm literally forgetting what I'm talking about. Like my brain's going, because I keep wanting to talk about inspiration and you being an inspiration. So I'm just going to use that word because that's what's coming through. How do my pile number 2s inspire their spirit guides? Because that's what I want to say. It happened with pile number 1, but it was like because they wanted to bring a message through. Tend to the small things. Pile number 2. How do my pile number 2s inspire? Take a leap of faith. This is another thing, right? A lot of times when people are dreaming and bringing creativity through, there has to be a level of daydreaming, dreaming and being in your mind and thinking of things. A lot of the time when people have that activated within them, they forget about the smaller minor details in the physical, or there's something about you've been developing and been working on making things happen physically, so it's not just a dream, which is something that's impressing them, because I feel like that might not come natural to you, but it's like you're constantly wanting to create, so it naturally has you in that space of making things physically happen. But also with 10 to the small things, there's something as well that you do, which is like you have very good attention to detail, and you just see things that other people might not see. So it's like the way you have visions, it's like people may, like for example, I'll give you an example. I was gardening and my sister was helping me, and like my mother was there as well, and we were pulling up the weeds and stuff, and they were like, okay, it's done. And I'm like, what do you mean it's done? Like, because I can see little things, like, how do I explain it? Like, if there's little stones or something, it can make it look unkept, so I'm like moving it away. It's like that small thing can make a really big difference, but I see you doing that on a grander scale. So it's like somebody taking a picture of like a scenery, and you're like, no, let's move this out the way, and let's move this in this position, because now look at it, now look at that view. It's like you have that vision. It's like attention to detail. You're able to see things from like an angle, like you're being shown like a kaleidoscope. There's a way that you look at things, which is really, really, really beautiful. And with surrender now and take a leap of faith, I feel like you're the type of person to make certain dreams or outlets come true, bring what's in your mind into the physical. I feel like you're able to do that, which is really, really lovely. And then we also have the dragonfly spirit at the back of the deck. Truth transcends illusion. That's what we have at the back of the deck. So it's like a lot of people can, this is the thing, a lot of people can like look at a lot of people don't want to see, how do I put this into words? Okay, so I'm being shown like a room, and it's dirty, it's damp, it's worn down, and like people naturally run away from their problems, or they naturally run away from the hard work sometimes. So it's like they can daydream that they want this like lovely like apartment, but you have to do the work to get there. So it's like they'll daydream, but it's almost like they'll try and look for a shortcut to find someone that can like create it and hand it to them. Whereas you, it's like you'll have that dirty rundown apartment, and it's like, this can be so cool. I have such an idea for this. And I see you guys like cleaning it up, sorting it out, clearing it out, spending time on it, like so that you can create. It's like, what's the point of it just being in my head? I want to create. And I see you doing this young. Like, I feel like you were the type of person that was moving your room around at like age 5, and your parents would have been like, what is all that noise? And you're like literally, you know, moving everything around. Or like I see you guys creating dens and moving things around and making it look a certain way, or like putting outfits together very young, because it's like it's just the way you do it. It's like, I have a vision, and there's this TikTok sound, and it's like, I have plans for this place, and I'm not gonna stop until I get there. And somebody captioned it like, when you find a den with your friends when you're younger, and you want to make it into like a, you know, like a squad meetup or something like that. And it was just like this random hedge. But I feel like you might have been like that as a child. Like you might have even wrote stories or movies or had that in your head as a child, because I just think that's just you create, which is really, really beautiful. You're able to see the light in the dark. You're able to see the beauty where other people might not see it, which is really, really beautiful. Yeah, so pile number 2, that is what I have for you guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I will have the link to Audace's channel in the description box. So whatever time you've watched this, morning, afternoon, evening, I hope you guys have a great day, evening, whenever. And yeah, hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how you impress your spirit guides. So you guys chose the Celestite, I forgot its name. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we will move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 3, please spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. I'm literally being taken through the clouds, and then I'm dipping into like an ocean, and it's like cool water, and I'm being taken through, and then I'm going back up into the clouds. It's like mist. I'm in the mist, I'm in the air, and I keep going down through the water and up through the air. So you may have a lot of water in your chart plus a lot of air, so there could be a mixture. Yeah, that's just what I'm being taken to. I feel like, and when I'm thinking of the water being liquid and it's solid, but then the air is like a mist, but it's not like a physical energy that we can touch necessarily yet. It's like I'm thinking of 2 different realms and dipping into 2 different realms. And I'm thinking of the cycle of like when water vaporizes but then comes back down through the clouds, and it's like that constant circle on Earth. It's like I'm in a cycle, replenishing energy, replenishing, clearing it. Quite interesting how I'm being shown that. I feel like that's how they reference in your energy, but we'll see as we go on. So pile number 3. Pile number 3, please spirit guides. Pile number 3. How do my pile number 3s impress their spirit guides? Your first card just fell to the floor. Where did it go? We have the Queen of Swords. Pile number 3, please spirit guides. Pile number 3. How do my pile number 3s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile number 3s impress their spirit guides? We have the 4 of Cups reversed. How do my pile number 3s impress their spirit guides? 2 of Cups. I feel like I've gone silent, but it's only because I almost feel like I'm becoming into a frequency. It's like I'm tailoring my energy into a frequency. So give me a second You have a very angelic nature to you. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. We have the Queen of Pentacles as well. 4 of Pentacles. The way you see Source and God, the universe, however you refer to, I call it the God Source, so I call it both, but how you see Source, how you see God, how you see light and yourself in everyone and everything. I think that you guys are extremely clairsentient, and I think that you really see people and understand people, and there's like a love there. It's like, I am part of you. I'm actually hearing the song from Avatar when Leona Lewis sings, I see me through your eyes. And when you think of, in Avatar, they say, I see you. And they're very connected to nature because they know that they're a part of Ewa, they're a part of nature. And it's like the same way that we're a part of Mother Gaia, we're a part of Source, because Source created us. Source is within I can't even speak, within us all. God is within us all, and nature is within us all. And it's like there's an understanding that you guys have within you, like a love and a acceptance and an understanding of nature and animals. And I think you always take into consideration people's feelings, what they're going through, what they're clearing, their shadow side popping out, their ego, you know. And it's almost like there's an observance that you have. And I feel like you may be that pile where I reference like, oh, you remind me of like Dumbledore, or you remind me of like Gandalf, like you feel like fairy godmother type of energy, because I think that there's such a wise essence to you, such a wise spirit to you. There's such an inner knowing and an understanding that you have. It's almost like you walk like a spirit guide, and that's something that your spirit guides, that impresses your spirit guides. But I almost feel like for you guys as well, even the connotation of like impresses, it's like you're aware of needing the ego to create the avatar that we have on earth and how we move on earth and things that we love and desire and create. But there's also like no need in regards to you guys like tickling the ego in any way. So when I want to say impress, it's almost like I want to use different words with you guys, because it's like it's more an honoring, like I see you, like the way that you're moving, the way that you move through life, the way you see nature, the way that you understand humans and you understand people's boundaries and you understand people's feelings. It's like the way your spirit guides are coming through, it's like they feel like they're cut from the same cloth energetically as you. So it's almost like an honoring, like I see you, like the way that you embody this, like I see that, I love that about you, like it's beautiful, which it goes beyond using the word impress. It's like being honored to share the experience with you and look through life through your eyes and see life through the way that you look through life. I feel like the spirit guides that you choose and have beyond earth, and take this however it resonates for you, beyond earth we connect to different energies, you know, as far back as when we were created by Source. So there's different, you know, like a lot of people connect to like Lyran beings and Andromedan beings and Arcturian beings and celestial energies. And I feel like the way I'm being taken to your soul's frequency, it's energy and it's clear and it's, I can feel you, you're part of me, you're all part of me. So it's different. Your reading's taken a completely different turn, because there's an honor in coming through of a collective of souls that are guiding you, where it's like to see life through your eyes, to feel love through your eyes on earth, to experience life through the way that you experience life, and watch you clear certain frequencies, or watch you move through life, or watch your hardships through life and watch you clear them. It's like an honor, and it's like the way you see things, and it goes beyond, oh, this is impressing me, because it doesn't feel on a soul level like that's how your soul tribe, your spirit guides would speak. It's more so like a heartfelt gratitude and love that I just pick up on when I tap into you guys, which is why it took me a second and I almost felt like my energy was taken me somewhere else, because they're referencing you incarnating. Like I said, it's like I'm a bird floating through the sky, and then I dip into the water. It's like they're referencing you incarnating as you jumping into the water, you jumping into an ocean. That's how they're referencing you incarnating, and they're watching from the sky, and then it's like energetically you come back to that frequency and then you dip back down. It's quite interesting the way that that's what I'm being shown. And it's almost like I don't even then want to read the cards, because it's almost like I'm being put in an energy to speak about it. I'm being put in an energy to bring this through. Your readings took a completely different turn. You also may be my water pile I'm referencing. There's just, I know it's taken a completely different turn, but like I'm literally being swam through the ocean with a pod of dolphins, and I can feel what they're all feeling, and I understand what they're all going through. And they keep referencing, when you cry, we cry. When you feel love, we feel love. When you feel joy, we feel joy. And when you have an abundance of love and you don't know where it's coming from, we're sending that to you. We're helping you restore your energy there. When you feel a purge coming on and you're releasing, we're helping you release it. Like, we're part of you, the same way that you incarnate and you see yourselves in people. You weep when they weep. You weep when, you know, Mother Gaia weeps. You feel what animals like are feeling. We have that with you. The same love. Oh, I want to cry. It's so beautiful. It's like the same, because referencing you looking at animals, and it's like a purity, and it's like you're connecting with them, and it's like I see you, I feel you. I don't need words. I feel like I want to cry, because it's like I don't feel like I'm from here. And it's like I'm tapping into nature, I'm tapping into humans, and I feel love for you beyond what our ego's telling us we need to feel. And I feel love for you, and I see you beyond this human experience. I see way beyond this human experience when I tap into you, when I'm with you. The same with animals. I see your true nature, and I see it. I see you. And they're referencing that they see you in the same way. Like, when you feel misunderstood, they see you in that same way. So in regards to the like, oh yeah, you impress your spirit guides, it's deeper. That's just, even though that's it, that's like they're referencing it goes way deeper than that. It's like, yes, you're impressing us, but that's a human word, and we're going beyond that, because that's how you move, which is so beautiful. And it's more than even just the heart space. It's like, it's so hard to explain what I'm even getting. It's a frequency. They're living through you, if that makes sense. They're part of you. It is really, really beautiful. When you learn that wisdom, we gain the wisdom too. When you feel love, we feel the love too. When you channel, we're helping you bring that through, because we're learning through you. We are you. That's how it's coming through. And you have the way that you implant that and bring your spirit tribe's ways, because I want to say tribe more than spirit guides, even though they guide you as well. They're saying, as much as we guide you, you guide us. And it's like the way that you plant that authentic frequency on earth, I guess they could reference in a human way of like, you impress us. Because with the Two of Cups here, it's like the Four of Cups is reversed, and the Two of Cups, it's like you really see people, and you have such an understanding for people. And even when people do certain things, it's like you're able to see above that and work through that, and understand that this is a wound and it's mirroring something in me, so I will clear that. It's like such an honorable thing that you do. Or there could even be work that you do that is very honorable, whether it's like humanitarian work, or just, spiritual work, or helping people out in any way, like counseling, therapy, or just little acts that you do are very honorable. And it's like you're planting your frequency within them for them to tap into that too, which is beautiful. It's like you're seeding that frequency in so that it's activated on earth. And that's something that's impressing. And it's all from the heart is what I'm being taken to. And I'm hearing the song What I Did for Love by Emily Sandé and David Guetta, which I will link if I remember, because that's the song that I'm getting from you guys. It's such a, and I feel like the way you connect with your spirit team beyond Earth is the way that you connect with people on Earth. Like, you have such a fierce loyalty and love and tenderness to people around you that you see them as part of you too. You see your plants as part of you. You see your animals as parts of you. You see the land you live on as part of you. You see human beings that are in your life as part of you, which is why sometimes you may be super sensitive when people choose to act out of their woundedness, because it's like, I keep hearing somebody say, I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. And they're referencing as well, your sensitivity is your superpower. Don't try and crush it. Don't feel like there's something wrong with you for that sensitivity. You choose to incarnate with this frequency and to anchor in this frequency, and you know that you'd meet people that might end up hurting you because, you know, you've maybe chosen to clear karma, or you've chosen to clear ancestral karma, or, you know, wounds from other past lives, and you've chosen to clear energies on Earth, so you knew you would have to have certain experience to transmute it. When certain things happen where they trigger you, allow those emotions and welcome those emotions and allow them to clear, because that's a part of you, and it's a really beautiful part of you, that sensitive feeling. Because the same way that someone could maybe hurt your feelings, or someone's shadow self could hurt your feelings, they're projecting where they see your own purity and your own light. And the same way that you see then those, the same way that people may get triggered by that vulnerability, other people will find strength in it and open up to that part of themselves too. So you're seeding that frequency in. So that's another thing Spirit's saying about you guys. The one thing I want to, your reading's gone a different turn, so I'm just going to take it wherever your spirit guides feel fit. So I hope that's okay with you guys, but they're referencing a concern. Not a concern in the sense of like, I'm worried. They're just telling me to remind you with this Four of Pentacles to be careful where your energy is going and who you're being vulnerable with. Again, always remember, you have love for people and light for people, and you see people's potential and their highest aspects, and you may even see their shadow aspects, and that happens. But be careful with who you're telling your vulnerable parts to. Be careful with who you're sharing maybe information about, you know, career opportunities and things with. Sometimes keep things close to your chest, just because sometimes people might not have the best intentions, because they're referencing people around you. If you do career in like a public eye, or you know, there's something about your soul, there's an innocence to you which is really strong. Like, the strength that you have to hold that innocence and light on Earth is so insane. Like, the strength, that's strength. But I'm also being told that you sometimes can be very open with your emotions with people, and you're currently learning to have that balance of not staying too closed off, because you're hiding away then, but not fully opening up. You're learning to have that very level-headed balance between sharing what needs to be shared and having boundaries up. And I keep wanting to reference, make sure people are creating a safe space for you to open up those vulnerable parts to you. Make sure that you're always focused on balancing that out and being careful where your energy is going, because people do play tug and war. That's what they're saying. People have played tug and war with your energy because of how healing you can be and how loving you can be. And you're not a free for all when it's being used and you are being hurt. So please remember that. And I keep being shown a diamond heart. They're showing me like a heart with like diamonds on, and then saying that's your prize in this lifetime, that's your gift. Do not let people taint that. Your sensitivity is a very big superpower in this lifetime, and that's another thing we're impressed with, the way you're able to hold that sensitivity on Earth. Yeah, so why have we got the Queen of Pentacles quickly? It's just you seeding love. That's what I'm getting here. The way you seed love. You may do that through communicating with people, pouring into people in that way. I think that you make very good like therapists, counselors, may even work with spirit, with people, holding space for people. I'm also being taken to social workers and like foster parents as well. That's another thing coming through. You have a very beautiful... Another thing as well is your patience. You're very patient and trusting, which is another thing that they are impressed with. They keep saying if you want to use that word. Yeah, so pile number 3. I'm also being told for you guys to take your time with your inner critic, because it's almost like I may be telling you things that you should be proud of or see as something bright, and then it's almost like you're telling yourself, well, I shouldn't be proud of it because I shouldn't be proud of my sensitivity, or I shouldn't be proud of this. And it's almost like your inner critic comes through and you're being told to take time teaching your inner self different, because you may have had a parent that was very critical of you or would put you down. You're taking time to clear that. That's starting to clear. But you're being told to take your time, because I feel like what's happened then is because you've had that inner critic, you've had other people, like friendships or just people, come around and project onto you, which is sometimes upsets you, because again, there's a sensitivity here. And you're being told to take your time with that. If you still get triggered with people's projections or what people might say, take your time with it, because you're still evolving, still growing, still learning, and cementing yourself in and creating your armor and designing your armor in whatever way you see fit. So take your time with that. And I think you get sensitive because when people do project out of negativity like that, sometimes it may feel a bit foreign to you, or it's such a different frequency, it disturbs your spirit sometimes, which is natural, and you're allowed to just let that flow. But there's an inner critic coming through, and you're being called to take your time in cleansing that, and it's all going to work out. And just allow... I feel like you're on a path of working with your inner critic and clearing that, and allowing that to alchemize. I think you're on a path of that right now, Spirit's referencing. So pile number 3. The way I want to describe your energy is like, imagine a hot summer day and it's humid and it's warm and I'm hot and I'm thirsty and I'm sweating and it's like, oh, and then I dip into the pool and it's nice and cold and it's all water and it's cold and it's fresh mineral water and I'm basking in it and it's just making me feel good. That's how I would describe your frequency and energy. And then it's like a collective of energies coming behind you, like, thank you very much. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm part of you, so thank you. Thank you for that. I'm being told you're gentle, but gentle in itself is fierce. To be gentle, you have to be fierce. And I'm being told you're gentle, but you're fierce. Compassion. Yeah, fierce of the heart. Fierce of the heart. Again, like Avatar, when Aturi says to Jake, you have a strong heart, no fear. Because I'm saying gentle, but you may be somebody that's very loud. You could be somebody that's very blunt. You could be somebody that's very physically to the point. But no matter how you put things across in a human way, we're on about the inner frequency and how you choose to treat people. Because I'm being shown a ferocious loyalty. You know what I mean? And a deep love. You know what I mean? Which could come across maybe to people intense or brash or blunt, but it's the softness that's driving it. I hope that makes sense. So we have death. Pile number... I'm picking up strong Pisces for you guys. Paradox. Like a Neptunian influence for sure. Because when I was actually saying that you guys could be good like therapists and counselors, I was being shown Neptune in the 7th house. That was just something that came through. You may also have Neptune in your 10th house. We have reclaim, paradox, reclaim. yeah, I think one of your biggest gifts as well is your clairsentience and your ability to feel and embody people's energy. We have higher perspective, so it's like you're constantly looking things through maybe the eyes of spirit, the lens of spirit, which is really, really, really beautiful. And I can see that because from the eyes of spirit, and when we go beyond earth, we know that we are all part of each other. We're all part of source, you know, experience in itself through multiple human beings and animals and nature. That's what source is. It's within us all. Source creates us all. We're all one. And to understand that to such a deep degree that you do, you have to be quite close to source, quite close to the seed, you know, like you have to be the stem, you know. So very beautiful energy coming through. Very, very beautiful energy coming through. Why do we have death? Death and then paradox. Do you see how I'm taking my time a minute just to sit in what I'm getting? Why do we have death and then paradox? Again, it's like nothing, energy can't die, energy's just alchemized, energy's just reborn. And I just feel like I keep hearing I'm letting you go with love because I know something's going to take its place. I'm letting go with love. I know something's going to come back in its place. I'm letting you go with love because I know our experience here is over, but I know you're not gone. So I don't know whether you've learned that through having to let go of people you love or having to let go of, like I'm being shown somebody letting go of an animal, and it's like I'm letting you go out of love. I love you, and I know you'll either come back to me or I'll see you again in spirit. Like, this isn't it. I keep being shown somebody looking at earth and being like, I'm here, I'm experiencing this, it's beautiful to be experiencing this, but I know this isn't it. And it's like I'm letting go of like maybe like an ex or somebody that didn't choose to evolve with me, but I know that the love will always be there because love is eternal. And it's like I'm letting you go and I'm grieving because I have to experience the human experience of grief. But I know that energy doesn't die, it's just transformed. And I know not only will the love that I have for you be replaced with something greater, but we'll be laughing about this in another realm. Like, that's how it feels. It's such an understanding, a deep understanding, which is so beautiful. It's like you're living in a different realm on earth. That's the only way I can describe it. You're living in a different realm on earth. Why do we have reclaim? Whenever I look at reclaim, I just want to say the words, I choose love. I choose love. I don't want to step out of this frequency. This is my frequency. I choose love. I choose to honor you. I choose to see you. Even if you're getting triggered at me, I still see you. You know what I mean? I know you're getting triggered at me, and naturally I'm supposed to project onto you that you're this evil person, but really I just see a wounded inner child screaming at me because I'm expressing something that you might not be able to express, and that's all I'm seeing. So I don't see you as a bad person at all. And it's like, I'm not stepping out of this energy. I choose love. I'm not. That's how I see you, which is really, really beautiful. Let's pull your final cards. Pile. Oh, goodness. They just spilled everywhere. Let me just get the cards that went on the floor. I was sitting cross-legged on the chair. Did a card fall on the floor? Yeah. What's funny is the card that fell on the floor is embrace the in-between. So it's like you're walking two realms at the same time. That's how it feels. You may lucid dream a lot in this lifetime, or astral project a lot, or you may just be completely awake and aware in this life and then remote view. Remote view other experiences, like, and it's like you're in two realms at once, and you just may not realize it. You just think you're daydreaming, but you're not. I keep showing somebody remote viewing and walking through a forest and experiencing something, but also being awake and aware and going, what's going on? I see that. Oh, goodness. Pile number... Pile number 3. We have time for a deep dive, which is interesting that came up because when I was being shown at the beginning, the bird in the sky, and then it goes into the ocean and it swims through the ocean, like, the depth that you have and the depth that you're able to see people is very honorable and very beautiful. It's like to see, your spirit guides are like to see life through your eyes is a blessing. We have Be Here Now, the hummingbird. You could easily just daydream and move into another realm if you fancied, but you choose to be here even when it gets tough. It's like when the going gets tough, I need to be here even stronger. When the going gets tough, I need to shine my light even stronger. When the going gets tough, my heart needs to be activated even stronger. I'm not running away from that frequency. I'm going to stand here in that frequency. Pile number 3. We have Freedom is Yours. When I look at freedom, I just see somebody stood around and it's like clearing shackles of karma and then just activating love wherever they see fit or wherever they intuitively feel called to. Because I feel like a lot of your mission really is just to love. I see karma being cleared, but then it's like, once that's done, let me just get this sorted. It's like, oh, I'm going to work, but before I go to work, let me just pop in and get a pint of milk or something. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the way your soul's talking about it. Like, I want to give love and spread love, but I'm going to clear the karma first and then I'm going to do it. And it's just so like, oh, I'm going to do this. But then I tap into the energy and it's so grand. It's like I'm jumping into this deep waterfall and it's like, oh, there's rocks and there's this and there's that. And oh, it's an experience. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to do this. Just really cute. And then we have the elephant card, learn from the past. Your energy is very much like an elephant, wise, old, full of wisdom, you know, old soul. And the 2 and a 5 adding up to 7, which is Neptunian energy. So again, there's very strong 12th house Neptunian energy here. And with learn from the past, I feel like you may have incarnated into a situation where there was a lot of karma or you saw destruction, so that you could learn from it and know where people's shadow side may come from in order to like feed that with love, or to not let people project that shadow onto you so that you can stay in the frequency of love, which is really, really beautiful. So pile 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey powerful, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at how you impress your spirit guides. So you guys chose the green aventurine. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. I don't know why I'm being shown Matilda. I'm literally being shown Matilda when she's with that family and they're like really mean, and I don't know, she's just so wise. Like as a child, she's just super wise, and she's very like, you know, when the parents are mean to her, and the parents are a bit dopey, but they think they know everything. They think, you know, he's like, I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, and they're like being rude to her, and she's just so wise beyond her years and very blunt, and it's, I don't know, like I keep being shown you like Matilda because I keep being shown people in your face, and this may have happened in life where people have like tried to put you down, or that same talk of I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, and it's all ego. When you think of like Matilda's parents, and they were like very for money, they didn't have the best morals, you know, there wasn't, all they cared about was keeping up appearances and looking a certain way. They didn't care about what was in their hearts or anything like that, and Matilda did, and she used to read books, and she was just too good for that family. And Spirit's referencing, they're showing you as Matilda and somebody in your face going, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small, and it's like you're not even taking it on, you're just looking at them and you're like, your ego's very big, like from a young age, just like, oh, you're really projecting onto me here. And this person's like 30 years your senior, and they're like, oh, look at you, like they're impressed, like it's like, oh my god, like they're wise, and they've got their morals straight from a really young age. It's really, Really interesting. Maybe some of you guys had to grow up beyond your years, but that's what I'm being shown. And I feel like that's happened throughout your life. Like I'm then being taken to a scene. I don't know if you watch a lot of movies, but I'm being shown the scene in Harry Potter where Harry makes friends with Ron, who doesn't have a lot of money, and his family aren't like the best wizards according to Malfoy, the really nasty little boy. And Malfoy turns up to Harry and he goes, he tries to be his friend because he's Harry Potter, and he says you don't want to be making friends with the wrong kind, meaning Ron, because he doesn't have a lot of money and a lot of honor to his family name. And Harry's like, I think I can tell the wrong kind from my own thanks. Like he already knows, you know, he already has his own morals and a strong sense of what he wants. And I feel like you've had that from young, and that's something that Spirit's referencing, that they're very impressed by. Yeah, like you've always had a tuning into your heart and who you are, a strong sense of who you are at your core. That's what I'm being told. Pile number 4. You kind of giving me underdog energy, but I also feel like you stick up for other underdogs too. You know what I mean? Pile number 4. How do my pile number 4s impress their spirit guides? How do my pile number 4s impress their spirit guides? We have the King of Cups, the Ace of Cups. Your integrity impresses your spirit guides. King of Swords. You're very, very intelligent, I'm being told. Super intelligent. And I'm almost being shown, like I'm being shown a humorous kind of like scene that they would have found humorous, where it's like you're stood there and someone's almost projecting onto you like, oh, this person's sweet, this person's cute, or this person's really kind. They're not going to see what I'm doing. And it's like you're doing something, that they're doing something and they think you can't see, but you can. And Spirit's almost referencing that in a humorous way, like, you can't pull the wool over their eyes. I can't believe this person's even trying to pull the wool over their eyes. And this person's thinking they're very, like, clever about what they're doing. And you're just looking at them, you could just see through them. But it's like, you know better than to, like, even tell them you know what they're doing. You're just kind of aware and you're like, you've just shown your true self to me. Thank you for that. I'm not going to let you know I know. I'll let you keep thinking that you've just got one over on me. Bless your little heart. And you walk away and Spirit's laughing at it because that person's walking away going, they don't know what I just did. Or they have no idea, what I was just doing, or how I really view them. All the while you're walking away like, bless their little heart. They thought that worked. And it's just like, Spirit's referencing that with you. Like there's an intelligence, but I feel like this happened when you were young. This could have happened from young. As I keep being shown Matilda walk into the library with her little, I don't even know what it was. This little wheelbarrow-y thing. I don't know what it's called. She brings all the books home. Pile number 8 of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. Your ability to see people's motives is really interesting, but I keep being taken to you. It comes across in a really dry way with you. I don't know why. I feel like you have a really quick-witted, dry sense of humor, but even if you don't say it out loud a lot of the time, when you think it, because even thoughts are an energy and Spirit can pick up on that, there's a humorous feeling, like somebody's lying to you and in your mind you're like, you honestly think that I believe what you're saying? And it's almost like you might make like a little joke in your mind and Spirit's just laughing. It's like little things like that that's very, very humorous. I feel like people may take your kindness for weakness sometimes, or project stuff onto you. And yes, you may be cute, and yes, you may be sweet, and yes, you may be lovely, but there's so much more to you. And you may present certain emotions out where people are like, oh, that's a weakness, and may think something different of you, or project something different onto you that isn't true. And it's like, within then, there's like this dryness where it's like, I keep seeing people projecting onto you, that person's really soft, they're naive, they don't know what's going on. You read the room before you even walked in. And it's that, it's like, finesse. I'm hearing finesse by Cardi B and Bruno Mars, and spirits say they're impressed by it, not in the way that, and you know your energy, not that you're like finessing people and you're being sly. It's just like, it's, how do I even explain it? It's, I just see somebody walking around and people are projecting and they think they know maybe you better than you, or they project what you are, and you're too clever or too self-aware to even sit there and be like, that's not true, and explaining yourself to people like that. It's like, if that's what you want to project onto me, cool. And it's like, you don't care, and you just keep walking. And being shown Matilda with a stroller, she keeps walking, and she has that kind of dryness that Matilda chats back to her parents with, and it's like, they're all like, I'm big, you're small, and you're just okay. And then when you do something where it's like, you may stand up for yourself, or you do something that people didn't expect you to do, people are like, oh my god, that's sly. Oh my god, that was, where did that come from? When did they do that? They must have had help with that. And it's like, no, you were just projecting. They were always doing that. You were just projecting onto them. You weren't trying to get to know them. You weren't trying to get to understand them. And it's like, I don't know why that's in person spirit, but that's why it's coming through. It's like, it may be a bit of a lone wolf, or you just do things on your own. You don't care what people say about you, what people are projecting onto you. You don't care to tickle people's egos. You just crack on with it and do your own thing. You're very unique like that, and they're impressed by the way that you carry yourself like that. What? Because I keep being some commotion around you. Like, you're walking, just doing your own thing, and people are projecting, and there's commotion, and people like maybe trying to project onto you who you are, or trying to like one over you, or trying to be in competition with you and run the same length as you, and you're not even playing the game. And that impresses spirit. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. But that impresses spirit. There's an integrity, your morals, the way you move. You connect to people through emotions, and if you connect and you see people very deeply, and if that's not, how do I explain it? It's like, if people aren't presenting their true self to you, that's on them. You know what I mean? Because I see people coming towards you with a mask, putting their hands out like this for energy from you, and you're like, that's a mask. I can't give energy to a false ID. It's like, you're a BS detector. You know what I mean? And people may think, oh, I'm going to get some of their energy. I've just given them that ID. And you're just like pretending like, oh yeah, we'll see. And you just don't hand it to them. Or they think they're getting one over you and you don't. And then you give that energy to someone who genuinely deserves it. And they're like, what? Your morals and integrity is what really impresses spirit. Because I see a lot of people as well handing you things, and it's like a box, like a really silver glittery gold box, but inside is nothing, or like a cheap version of something. And like, you could have easily been bribed into things. Like, your ego could have been tickled to have something that wouldn't have internally aligned with your morals or who you are, but it could have looked good for you. And you've chosen against it. Like, you could have stayed in a relationship for the sake of, I have this person, I won, you know, because there could have been like a situation with somebody else involved. But it's like, if I'm not having all of somebody, I don't want them. You could have had, like, there's a lot of things you could have had, trophies you could have had, but what's the point in having 10 plastic trophies when you can just form the true trophy or get the true prize, if that makes sense? Like, what would be the point? Like, I feel like you're the tortoise, not the hare, and your morals are as such. And I just think a lot of people have maybe tried to bribe you or try to coerce you, and you just haven't allowed that. You won't allow that. It's like, you stand in your own integrity and morals, and that's something spirit really, really are impressed by. King of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. And again, it's like, you may have a lot of things up your belt. You could easily scream the rooftops down about a gift you have. It could be a spiritual gift. It could be like a talent that you have. You could scream the rooftops down about it and be like, haha, look at me, and you don't. It's just like, I'm doing it because this is where my heart is. I'm not doing it for an ego purpose. I don't need to show off. I don't need to stunt on people. I don't care. I'm just doing it. And if I get attraction for it, I do. If I don't, I don't. I'm doing it because my heart's there, which is really, really interesting as well. Because it's like, there's a lot of things you could boast about. You could boast like them, like Matilda's parents. You could boast like them. And these people are going, I'm big, you're small. You could do that. You could easily stand and be like, haha, I knew what you were doing the whole time, haha. and put them down. You won't do it though. You stand in your integrity and your truth. Whereas if other people could have had the chance to boast about something that you have naturally, they would, and you don't do it. Which is really, really interesting, because there's like an integrity and a, this is my truth, I'm doing it because it comes authentic to me, not because I want to stunt on people. And that's something that's coming through. Like your ego is very, I think you may have been around people from a young age that had very big egos, or were driven to show off certain things very young and put other people down. And I think that you learned very young, I'm not doing that. That's not where gold is. Gold is in hearty connections with people. Gold is in helping people. Gold is in having love with someone. Gold is in, you know, friendships and things like that. It's not in, I'm better than you because I have a Bugatti. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not what gold is in. And that's something that Spirit is saying they're impressed by, because you learned it super young. A lot of people will go through having the gold, realizing that it's not all it's cracked up to be, and then understanding the true nature of what that gold is, whereas you learned it without even having to experience something. That's what I'm being told. Or you learned it through seeing other people act like it, and it was like, I'm not doing that. I hope that's making sense. King of Pentacles. Because I feel like you're also going to achieve material abundance, or abundance in a way. Abundance in a way where people might have put you down for not having something. So say now you grow up without money, and people are like, oh, they don't have money, they don't have this and that, and put you down for it. You're going to achieve abundance of finances in this lifetime. Or if people put you down for being maybe like the odd one out, you're going to achieve a lot by walking your own unique path. Or if people put you down for being super sweet and kind natured, but then you find abundance and you have beautiful, sweet, kind natured connections in your life, what that pour into you the way you were pouring into people. It's like, oh, why are they pouring into me? Haha, why are they doing that? But then later on down the line, you have these beautiful, heartfelt connections. That person never tapped into it, so they don't have that back, sort of thing. So it's like, whatever it is that you would have been put down for, you're going to have handed back to you. I keep being shown you being the tortoise and other people being the hare. Because there's something that people would have been like, oh, like putting you down, or almost like looking at it as a weakness. You're going to have it. That's part of your life mission, to have that and obtain that. And that's why your soul's so blunt. Like the way Matilda was speaking to the parent in a really blunt way, I just feel like that's why your soul's kind of like looking at it like, is that all you know what I mean? Is that it? Like someone could have been very academically intelligent, but you guys are like full of wisdom and super intuitive, and that takes you like a really long way, where somebody could have been putting you down for not having the academic intelligence. But it's like that saying of like, you don't judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, you know? So it's that sort of thing. That's what I'm picking up here as well. And you've constantly blazed your own path. You could have just bounced back and shown people how I can do both, but it's like you constantly move with your own uniqueness and follow your heart, which is super, super impressive to Spirit, I'm being told. So you have the Seeker. My nose is itching for some reason, sorry guys. Pile number 1, messages, pile number 4. Pile number 4. I think I said pile number 1 and then I said messages. In pile number 1, I kept saying messages from Spirit because Spirit wanted me to bring messages through. So once I've pulled these cards about how you impress Spirit, I'll ask a message from Spirit, because I feel like Spirit might have a message for you like they did for pile 1. Pile number 4. How do my pile number 4s impress their Spirit guides? Some of you guys may be quite blunt, or have learned to be quite blunt. Compassion. Pile number... Ask body. The universe. Back of the deck we have power. feel like you've had to, in ways, go through the illusion of losing your power to find your power. I feel like people really have, I feel at times, projected a lot of things that really weren't true on you, and maybe at times you've taken it on, but I feel like it's helped you learn really who you are and learnt how to, again, it's like not give your power away to people. Because maybe at times, because it's been shown the hands, maybe at times you've given your light to the wrong people and realized like, oh my god, like I've poured that into you. You had your hands out. I poured that energy into you all the while you were wearing a mask in some way, or you weren't pouring that same energy back into me and I feel depleted. I feel like you've had to learn where to put your power. And I feel like maybe even sometimes people have tried to convince you that your inner power wasn't anything to be proud of. So it's almost like you might have taken that on at times, but it was because maybe they wanted to feed off it, or they wanted to kind of like dim your light for them to feel good. Because I saw a saying the other day, and that it's coming through in this reading, and it was like, if you were trying to convince me that I'm nothing special, then I must be pretty special, because why would you try and convince me of it otherwise? If you didn't see me as anything special in the first place, why would you be trying to tear me down if you didn't see me as anything special? If you didn't see me as anything special, you just leave me be. But you're trying to convince me that I'm not special, so maybe I am, you know? And by that, I mean, we're all special. We all have beautiful attributes to us. But if somebody's trying to tear you down, they'd only try to tear you down if they were beneath you, or if they felt they were beneath you, or they saw something in you that triggered them. And I feel like you've dealt with that. And maybe at times you've had to lose yourself to find yourself and really wake up to that power and your ability to come back to that, and your awakening back to your own power. That is something that I feel impresses your spirit guides. And on top of that, it's like, if I wanted to treat you the way that you've treated me, or if I wanted to project onto you or stunt on you the way you tried to stunt on me, you know, there'd be a riot, you'd be very hurt. Good thing for you, I have no intention of doing that. I don't really care to do that. That's not going to do anything for me. And I don't let my ego take me there. I don't let my shadow self take me there. I have them in check. You know? So it's like, lucky for you, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, you could have done that. A lot of people will do that. Sometimes they'll bounce back and they'll put like people in their place or get revenge. And I feel like you don't do that. It's like, that's not my heart. So I'm not going to do it. And I feel like you always take like a kind of high road like that. And that's something that impresses spirit, because it's like, you really could be 5 of Wands here and battling back, and you're just not. Like, I'm being shown somebody trying to put you down. It's like, if you wanted to, you could really put them down there or make them look stupid, and you just don't. Because it's like, it's going to affect you more than it's affecting me, you know? So that's something that's coming through with these cards here with Seeker and Compassion. I also feel as well you are very clairsentient, intuitive, and I feel like you do look at things from a very high perspective, and I feel like that's something that does impress spirit. But I feel like you've been impressing spirit for time with that. I feel like that's something that comes natural to you, because I feel like you've had lots of lifetimes where, you know, you've opened up to your psychic gifts, you've been, you know what I mean, working on those. I feel like to talk about that here, I feel like that's stuff you already know about. I feel like you know you're intuitive, you know you're very smart, you know you're clairsentient, you know you are very connected to spirit. That's something that you already know of. I hope I'm making sense. I've got a bit of brain fog today, so I hope the readings made sense for you guys. My mind's felt a little bit rigid, enough to be able to film, but like it's still kind of there, so I keep second guessing myself a little bit. Pile number 4. And this was a message from Spirit, because Spirit wanted to bring a message through. Pile number 4. Messages from pile number 4, Spirit guides. Spirit guides, Spirit team. There's a strong female ancestor around a lot of you. Feels like they're leading the pack. That's what it feels like. So we have the dolphin spirit, this and that are true. We have magic works through you. Pile number 4. open to infinite possibility. I'm being shown as well, just really quickly, you know, like when people are like really loud, like I'm the alpha male, I'm the alpha male. An alpha male doesn't need to tell anyone they're the alpha male. They just sit, chill, they let you think you're the alpha male. That's the energy you give off, which Spirit feel very impressed with, because it's like you've had that energy for a while. When someone's like, I'm the most intelligent person in the room, I'm the most intelligent person in the room, it's like, well, if you are, why are you trying to convince everybody? Whereas you're just sat there, you may have like a high IQ, or you may just have a lot of wisdom. You don't feel the need to say it because you understand that everyone has their own traits. You don't need to put yourself above everyone. You know we're all equal. Whereas, you know, the loudest person sometimes is the most insecure in those aspects. I know what's true, you know what I mean? And it's like you just sit back like, okay, you know what I mean? Or you can be the alpha male if you want, or all of that, because it's just like, whatever. If you feel you're the alpha male, you're the alpha male. I don't, whatever. I have nothing to prove, but, you know, keep telling everyone. There's that sort of vibe that you have. Come across really cool. So you come across really cool. This and that are true. Magic works through you. Open to infinite possibility. This and that are true. Magic works through you. Open to infinite possibility. The message from Spirit right now is you swing like a pendulum. This is a message from your spirit guides now. You swing like a pendulum where you'll go super logical and practical into your human brain, and then you'll go through a phase where you're super connected to spirit and super it's like you can tap into spirit, download, you see things from a higher perspective, then you see stuff from a ground level. And a lot of your life, it's like gone to extremes. Like you've gone through a phase this way, you've gone through a phase that way. You're starting now to still the pendulum and live in both truths of the logical mind and the connection to spirit. Before, it's like we're forgetting the logic, we're jumping into spirit, we're looking at things through our third eye. And then it's like you've swung the other way and gone, I'm not looking at things from a high perspective right now, I'm just looking at it humanly. As time's gone on, it's slowed down where these two truths have come closer and closer, and now they're starting to blend together, which may be a little bit uncomfortable. And that's why the card This and That Are True are coming through, because the message from Spirit, and we have time to collaborate at the back of the deck. The message from Spirit is something about you blending two worlds. I feel like you may be bringing something from your dream state, your imagination, into the concrete, and I'm being told for you guys to you're balancing these energies right now, which is because these energies contradict each other, it's getting a little bit confusing. And I'm being told that when I was doing this reading, instead of flowing through the crown chakra, I was coming through very matter of fact, because I feel like you may be in a very logical state right now, and you may be bringing in a lot of messages from spirit right now to blend with that, and they may be contradicting, and there may be a little bit of friction in your mind, and you're being called to just allow yourself to be in the energy of receiving right now and allow both worlds to coexist. The human nature of things, the logical side of things, and the more spiritual side, because both exist. You know what I mean? I hope that made sense, because Spirit's telling me to leave it there. To me, that's given me a bit of brain fog. I'm like, is that going to make sense? Do I need to explain that a little bit deeper? And Spirit's like, no, just say that. You could even be activating a gift right now, a psychic gift, with magic works through you and open to infinite possibilities. Or you may be open into seeing life through a higher perspective or a deeper perspective. And it may be contradicting what you already know, but it's because a new layer of something is being revealed. So open up to this higher possibility, or this other possibility coming through right now, or open up to Spirit teaching you a different way of looking at things right now, because that's something that's coming through for you guys, whatever that means for you. With time to collaborate, it's like you're looking at things from a different perspective. When we collaborate with people and we connect with people in life, we're looking at things through their eyes and through their lens. What they have to say and what they see life as is vital, because it adds a piece to the puzzle. We're all pieces in this moving puzzle. So there's something about new information coming in, or you channeling something, or a gift coming through that is different to how you usually look at life, but it's coming through to give you a higher perspective. And it's not that your old perspective was wrong, they both coexist. that's a message from Spirit for whoever needed it. That's why that was coming through. But pile number 4, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm going to have the link to Odessa's channel in the description box, so you guys can head over there to watch part 2 if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.